So class, I think I found my new favorite anime. Like, I really didn't know what I was getting myself into when I saw this anime on like my radar and shit, but I saw the main character's design and I was like,
that's pretty good.
You know, that's a pretty cool ass design. I haven't seen like an anime character looking this unique before, so I was like, you know, F it, I'm gonna give it a shot. So literally when I was watching this, I relatively did not have any expectations. And this anime just blew out those non-existent expectations, because when I was watching this, I was actually really enjoying myself. So essentially this anime is about like these people who have like these powers and they are labeled as braves. Each braves have like different abilities that they can like utilize and use in like their day-to-day lives. But the only way that they can activate their powers is through like this gun injector thing. I'm not gonna lie, when I first saw this, I instinctively thought of like Persona 3 with like the guns and shit. Okay, I can't be the only one. But alongside the Braves, there's also the bad guys of the verse, which are like the Dark Lords, but we're gonna probably get into them a little bit later. I still want to stick on like the main characters of the entire anime, because these are kind of the characters that make the anime, in my opinion. Like in the very first episodes where we see like our main girl, Aika, on top of this rooftop being pretty much held at gunpoint by these random ass people. Now, when you look at her, there's like a mark on her cheek, and this pretty much solidifies her being a brave. She used that like injector that I was talking about in like the beginning of the video. So that pretty much means now that her powers are active. Now, what is her powers? I'm gonna get into that a bit later, because I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty stupid. And then it cuts to like our main like protagonist, like the one that pretty much is gonna be doing majority of the fighting throughout this entire anime. And when he was like walking in his back alley, he ends up getting pressed by the same person that was pressing Aika. And the reason why he's down here is because she fell off that said roof. And so pretty much like here's where like the anime kind of like took a turn for me, because when I started watching this, I thought that this was just gonna be like some BS, some like lighthearted anime where like, you know, there's probably some fighting, but it's really not that serious for real. And then this man injects himself with the brave juice and then ends up stomping this man's whole head in. Stomp the Sonic coins out of him. And that's when I knew we had an anime on our hands. This anime is not just about like all that action and stuff like that too. The characters is also pretty funny. The interactions that they have with each other makes this anime too. Just in the first episode alone, we had some pretty funny moments with these characters. Now, like, of course the plot and like I guess the premise of it is pretty basic, but it's still pretty fun to watch, even though that it's only of me recording this like what, 5 episodes in. But I've been watching it like, you know, week by week, every single time they drop an episode. I've been watching it. Like, I've been really liking this anime. But I kind of wanted to still talk about like, you know, the powers and then like, you know, the villain of the anime and stuff like that. Well, the villains of the verse. Now, when it comes to like the powers and stuff, in the first episode, we see like the orange hair guy. I kind of forget his name. I think like his nickname is like the Grim Reaper. So we're gonna stick with Reaper. When we see Reaper's like ability, we see that like, you know, he slows down time and he pretty much sees like the bullets and he's able to dodge them and grab them and stuff like that. Our second main character, which is Aika, we only learn what her ability is in episode 2. And when I learned what her ability was, I looked back at episode 1, and when I noticed that like she was actually like calling this man out on bullshit when her ability was active, actually made a lot of sense. And when I made that realization, I kind of like bust out laughing, because I was like, yo, that actually makes sense of how she was calling him out on his bullshit at like the alleyway and inside the bar. Post editing nexus here, I kind of got to clarify it. I do not know where the hell I saw all that shit from, because none of that actually happened inside the first episode. I'm gonna be so for real with you, I think I was just making most of that shit up. But still, I guess my point still applies. Sorry about this post-editing nexus. Post-editing nexus here. I actually really thought about what I said, and I really think it was just an animation inconsistency, because we see that she did inject herself with the juice. So everything I said is actually still true. I just think the animators forgot to animate the mark on her cheek. You know, that actually does kind of make sense. You know, post-editing nexus, you're actually kind of right there. You're right there. Appreciate it. No problem, post-editing nexus. I'm just doing our job that we don't get paid for. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, she was still calling this man out on BS. Like, when he was lying to her and stuff like that, she was still calling him out. So I'm assuming that, like, when they inject the juice inside of them and stuff, it kind of has like a lingering effect. Because in episode 2, we learned that Aika's ability is mind reading. She can like read people's minds. So that's why I guess I assumed that like there's like a lingering effect with this, due to the fact that like she was still knowing that this man was lying. Like I said, like, this anime only has like 5 episodes of me recording, so maybe that's like, you know, my little bit of theory. Like, maybe there's like a lingering effect when they hit the juice and shit. Now, like, getting off of like Aika's, like, you know, abilities and stuff like that, and Reaper's ability, there was one that was like, I was like, wait, this shit is actually kind of overpowered. And it was with Aika's friend, because she could literally see cuts or rifts through like time, and she could literally use them to teleport anywhere. And we see her mostly use that in like episode 2, when she was like teleporting from rooftop to rooftop, and she was also teleporting behind people to kill them and stuff. It was actually really cool. But at the same time too, in the same exact episode, we see like the whole Dark Lords and stuff like that. These are like the main bad guys of the series that I was talking about. But the one that they're fighting is like a low rank one that Aika and her friends have to kill, because they're a part of like this whole entire academy for Braves and so on and so forth. I don't really want to get into that. They don't really get into that in the anime. They only just like, you know, bring it up from time to time and stuff. But when we see him, this is possibly another one of like, you know, my favorite moments, because as soon as like the guy protected the other two and stuff, and he got like really injured, she ends up just coming in clutch and cutting off this man's arm that was going berserk, and then started whooping his ass. Moments like this is what made me want to binge watch this anime. Now, like I said, the anime is not done. The episodes and stuff are still dropping. But I binge watched like damn near all 4 episodes, and like they haven't missed so far. So I can definitely back this anime. I can truly say that I am actually enjoying and liking this anime. With the characters, the funny moments, and hell, even like some of the action scenes where like they're fighting and stuff actually kept me like pretty entertained. Like, of course, this isn't like your high budget anime, like with all these impact frames and all this other fluid movement and stuff, but it's still good. Like, basic animation, well, I'm not even gonna say that this shit is basic animation, that's disrespectful, but animation is still animation at the end of the day, whether if it's good or not. As long as it's doing its job, then that's the only thing that matters, and this anime is definitely doing it justice. But I just kind of wanted to just yap about this anime, probably like, you know, give somebody something new to watch while they're waiting for like their other anime to get like a new episode or something. That's pretty much just my job, alright? But what do you guys think? Are you gonna give this anime a watch? Does this also like pique your interest in some type of way? Or you're not gonna watch the anime and it just isn't your cup of tea? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel for more anime content. And remember, class, we do have a community Discord that we're trying to make more active. If you guys want to join, links always in the description. But with that being said, there's no bell for today. Pack your bags, class dismissed.